this session just to make sure that we know that we can connect to this afterwards. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us today on this webinar to talk about having a more efficient and transparent relationship and partnership through COR. My name is Catherine, and I am the Manager of Customer Success for North America. And today I am joined by our amazing onboarding leader, Belen. Belen, thank you so much for talking with me today and for helping me to explain and to dive into the world of our client access role so we can see how agencies are going to improve their relationship with clients. I'm super excited to talk to you today on this.
Hi, Kat, and hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today in our first webinar, this year's first webinar. And I'm sure this information that we will discuss here and that we will share will come in handy and will be very useful for all of us here.
Totally, exactly. Just as Belen has said, this is our first webinar of 2022, and hopefully it's a great start to a series of conversations that we are going to be having throughout the year on different topics on how you guys can utilize COR to work smarter, more efficient, more transparent, and everything with your client relationships. So we invite you to stay tuned. At the end, we'll discuss a little bit more about what's coming up and how we can get you guys working together. So this webinar, our goal is to be as dynamic as possible. So you are not only welcome, but you are encouraged to get involved. We would love for all of you to use the chat box to send your questions and just keep thinking about it as we're going through this webinar. And if you have those questions, add them in. We will go through and we will save some time at the very end of the session. So get involved. Belen will be watching the chat as well, our Q&A section. So if you do have those questions, we look forward to hearing them.
Exactly, as Kat said, the chat box is open as from now. So start writing down your questions, your comments, be part of our conversation. And Kat, I want to ask you a question. For those who are new to COR, or for those who need a little reminder, why COR? Why choose COR?
That is an excellent question and a great segue to get us started today. Why COR? Why are we here? So as most, if not all of you guys know, COR is an all-in-one management solution for creative agencies that intelligently suggests how to manage projects, teams, and finances. What does that all mean? It means that we understand that there is a problem that creative agencies are facing every single day. And that is the fact that there are so many solutions, too many systems that don't communicate with each other, where we are spending a lot of time tracking in one place, managing projects in another, reporting in another, resourcing in another, right? It is just an endless cycle of all of these disconnected systems. And so COR was born through the idea that we need a single tool, a single vertical solution that is going to help us manage all of these aspects and add in certain aspects that are going to help you guys work smarter, work more efficiently, and provide, first one, visibility. Visibility not only internally, but externally. You can have real insights into what is my team doing at any given time, who's available to take on work, who is overloaded and completely unable to help on certain projects coming up. And also giving your clients visibility, being able to see in real time how things are progressing and knowing in real time what kind of changes are going to need to be made, as well as automation. We spend so much time manually creating projects, manually adding information, checking resources, all of that. So we are able to automate the creation of projects through project templates. We are able to automate time inputs through the machine learning to help you guys not have to focus so much on those manual details, but to actually go in and let the system do it for you so we can get back that important billable time. Collaboration is also super important for us to have a place where we can seamlessly share files and messages, communicate both on a task and a project level. We can also have feedback directly from the client. We can have revisions, know where we're tracking and managing our time in all of this, which leads us to the outputs. If we can simplify the inputs, which are the first parts, we can simplify and automate the outputs and having real-time metrics into what's going on. And these are going to be as accurate as possible because they're in real time based on your agency's work. So our goal is to allow agencies to be truly data-driven when making decisions with their clients, which I think is very cool.
I think so too, Kat. But wait, what about brands? How can an agency stand out?
Perfect. So as I mentioned, COR is not only a tool that is built for internal work, it is also done for the brands, for clients, and to help agencies stand out when they're trying to get new business. So what we have started seeing, especially with our clients today who are using COR to better prepare and try and win pitches with specific new clients, is that these clients and these brands want agencies that are agile. They want to have these streamlined processes to understand in real time how our deliverables are, to be able to have quick feedback on what's going on, adding in those approvals so we know we are being efficient, we're delivering quality work, and agents and brands, I should say, love that. They also really value collaboration, right? They want to feel like they are participating, like they are a part of what's going on. And, that can also help within COR, and is exactly what we are going to be focusing on today, is by having that feeling of participation, allowing them to come in and take away all the time that the agency is prepping for meetings and calls and emails. And right there, we're already allowing the client to simplify that. And then, of course, when we're talking about operation visibility, we're talking about having our clients, when they can come in and request a revision or a change, then on the back end as the agency, we're able to take that information directly and we are able to justify when we're going to have a delay, when we are going to be having to change a budget or update a project in a certain way, just because we now have real-time data and clients are actually coming in and making revisions, because in an agency world, revisions always happen. There's lots going on, and sometimes a lot of that gets out of scope. We don't plan for it, so now we have to go back and use the data to justify, we're going to deliver this a little bit later, we're going to have to change the scope, we're going to have to adjust the budget, whatever that may be. So having that place, you're working smarter, you're able to provide that visibility, and brands tend to really enjoy having that. And with that, I think it's important to note right now, as we speak, there are at least 26 different agencies around the world working with COR in a more transparent way. And they're working with over 50 of their brands, which is over 450 of our active licenses today are being dedicated to brands, to clients, to being more transparent, which I applaud you guys for continuing to do that. And I think it's a great way for us today to focus on how the rest of you can implement this in your agency and how we can start working better, because this is going to help us save countless billable hours. We're going to increase efficiency. We're going to let our clients feel like they are a part of the process, and we'll have a designated role that will allow us to do that. Especially because our teams are already in COR, right? We're already managing our time, our projects, everything that we are doing, it's already being done in COR. So instead of having to then send information to somebody who then exports the information, who then has to manipulate it and spend all that extra time to then send it to the client in a meeting, wait for feedback, it's a lot. It's time consuming, and in the agency world, time is precious. It is so important, and we need to conserve it where we can and spend that in actual billable time on our day-to-day basis. So why not let our clients get in there and use the platform to do all the same things that we do internally? So with that lovely brief intro, I think it is a great time for us to actually go in and demo our client access role within the COR platform, and demonstrate just how easy it is for you guys to involve your clients in this creative process. So
let's dive right into it.
Wonderful. All right. So I am going to be showing you the platform as two different people, right? We are looking at the agency side and we are looking at the client side. So as an agency member, I come in and I see everything that I need to with COR. Very easy.
Well, but Kath, will the client role have visibility over everything in the platform?
Perfect. That's a great question. So as we can see, I am a project manager. I have a special role within COR, so I see everything. So the same way that we build a project manager role, a C-level role, a collaborator role, we're also going to build a client role. And this is something that we know that all agencies work differently with their clients. They all have different types of interactions. So each role is customizable by person or generally. I can go and say, I want all of my clients to view certain things, or I want one client to view this and one client to view that. So we're going to take our example here of Denise. Denise is a new client that we are starting to onboard, and we have a campaign that we are going to be running with her. Now, of course, me as the agency, I don't need her to have visibility of everything. I want her to be involved in specific projects and specific tasks within that project. There's a lot of internal work that can be done, so it's not necessary for her to be involved in that, right? She just needs to add in a few clients, needs to work with a few different tasks here and there. So based on that, I'm going to build her permissions out to let her see her projects that we assign to her, as well as her tasks that are also assigned. And of course, notifications. We don't want to do all of this work to get our client in for them to not know, right? We want them to be updated in real time and to have those notifications that they've been assigned to a task, they've been added to a project, their messages, files, whatever it may be. So we'll come in and we'll give her the possibility to receive notifications. So I have built her role out. So everything should be set, and Denise will be able to come in to the platform. And Denise, as you can see, has a much more limited view. Denise is able to see tasks and projects, specifically what we had added in her permissions. She will have access to tasks that we assign to her. She will have her notifications in here. So the login and the experience is the same as any other day-to-day user. But of course, we are going to reduce that to just letting her interact in the areas that we need to. So in this example, I would love to jump back and imagine we're back in the agency. So we've already gone through the stage through sales. We've built the estimates. We've created that SOW from the sales side, and we have now transitioned this project into a new project within COR. We are able to define the scope based on what we sold to the client, and through our project templates, we're able to create it. So I have come through and I have created my project. I know that there are 3 different phases in here where we will be implementing this particular All About Fun campaign for 2022. And I, as the project manager, can assign different members to their tasks. I can view information about profitability, the flow, all of it. But of course, where does the client come in? The client in this case should be involved in our kickoff meeting. This kickoff meeting is going to be a great opportunity for us to finalize. I've built the project from a template, but one client versus another, we need different things. So I need to have Denise involved in this process so she can make some decisions. So project manager will come in and will directly assign Denise as a collaborator to this task. And just as any collaborator would get their notification, we're now going to see that if I come in here to Denise, if you look in the top right-hand corner, I've got that notification in real time, right there in the moment. And I am able to see that my project manager, Catherine, has assigned me as a collaborator to a kickoff meeting. I can come in and I have full access to see the details that have been shared with me about this kickoff meeting. I can come in and I can see that there is a checklist of things that we should be working on. I can see that there are messages and files. I can see details about the time and the members that are involved in this particular task.
Right, but Kath, will Denise or the client role be able to see all our message exchanges?
Perfect. So in this case, we have assigned Denise as a collaborator. And because she's a collaborator, she will have access to the tasks message board. We want her to interact in this case, and we want her to be able to messages, to manage revisions, to be able to communicate with the team. So in this particular case, yes, she'll be able to see messages on the task level. And then we can also see that because she is a member of a task in the project, she will also have access to our project's discussion board. And this discussion board is going to be a great place for us to go in and share our project's brief, to share assets, anything that we need at a full project level. Even though Denise is not involved in the other tasks, whereas the rest of the team will be, she can still communicate to those members of the project in real time to make sure that all of the project needs are being met.
Okay, so this really improves our partnerships with clients. I mean, this adds some visibility. And Kath, apart from this, from what I have just asked, will Denise or the client role, Denise in this case, be able to see the time that has been tracked by the agency, that we have worked on the different tasks in her project, or the historical movements that are in the task?
Great question. Now, that's something that we keep internally. I wouldn't ask my client to track their amount of time towards the project because I need my agency to do that, right? I need my collaborators in there tracking time. So as we can see as Denise, I only see the details, including the brief, the subtasks that I am assigned or checklists, messages that have been shared, and files. You'll see that if I were to come in as the agency member, here as the project manager, I can see that I have both a history tab and an hours tab because that's all internal work. We don't need the client to see that we invested an hour here, 6 hours there. That just ends up getting messy. So we want to be able to let the agency do that work and keep something for themselves and let the client just see those types of communications, files, messages, all that fun stuff. So we're at our kickoff meeting. We have started our project. So me as the project manager, I am going to go ahead and move my project to in progress. This means that we are working on this particular task, that we have the kickoff meeting. So Denise is involved and I am here working with Denise and we're going through our checklist, all of the different items that we are going to be working on together. We can confirm the initial scope. Everything looks good. We know that Denise is going to send final assets for us once we have finished this meeting, just to make sure that we're getting everything set. We have scheduled our follow-up meeting, and here we will define the number of revisions. So something that I've mentioned earlier is that we know revisions are just part of the process. It's part of being an agency. We know there's going to be back and forth. We know we need to budget some time for that. So it's important for us to set that standard at the beginning and have a specific total revisions that we're planning for. Because of course, our time is precious. We want the client to get what they want and be as efficient as possible. And then the last step is we'll need Denise to confirm the final marketing materials in phase 2 before we're able to launch everything. So we're able to establish this. Denise is able to come in and see this. So now when we are in progress with our project, we are going to be able to now come in. I can see the checklist has been updated and Denise is taking it to her side to add the final assets, to define the marketing materials, make her approvals and everything like that. So we can now say that Denise can come in here and send a message. Hi team, I will send the final assets by end of day. So we can see here that very easily Denise has been able to add a quick message telling the team that she's going to work on those assets that we've set up in our checklist. And the agency will be able to understand and see that, there we go, Denise has sent her message. She's got that on her side. So those final assets will be ready to go by the end of the day. If I want Denise to share those assets, share a file, she can come in to the file section or even to the message board and add that details in directly from her desktop or from Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, and we can have all of this information shared with the team in real time so we know what has been added here. So this is an awesome way for us to communicate.
Real-time update. That's
exactly, real-time updates. You don't have to wait till the end of the week till they get back to you. You can see it right here in real time, everything that is going to happen. Now that the meeting is over, it's important for our team internally as the agency to track time. So we can come in and say, sure, we had our 1 hour meeting. I, as the project manager, have come in, tracked my time. Everything is easily done there. And we can mark this as finished. We're done with the task. We don't need to do anything further. Now, the rest of our team will continue to work on their tasks because this is internal. Denise isn't involved. She doesn't need to be a part of these. But as we mentioned in our kickoff meeting, she does need to approve our final marketing materials. So it's important, again, just as I did to the kickoff meeting, to assign her as a collaborator of the client approval marketing materials task. So here again, as we saw at the beginning, I will see that I now have notifications up at the very top saying, yes, you are now assigned to the marketing material approval task that we are working on. And just simply by clicking on my notification, I'm in here working on everything there. I can go through, approve whatever has been sent by the team. I can say, hi team, this looks great. I will need to check internally with my boss, but should be good to go. Now, in this case, it means that everything is on her side. We're waiting for things to happen. And let's imagine Denise goes back to her boss and we need to make an adjustment. But we've already gone through all of the revision times that we had planned. What do? In this case, it'll be great for Denise to come in and mark a rework directly in the task. She can come in and say, I checked internally and we actually need the header to be 5% larger, whatever that may be. And I can come in and add this in here and we can see right there, my rework has been requested. It is already marked as a client rework. We don't allow the client to say this is an internal rework because this is the client asking for it. So we checked internally, we need this to be larger. So going back into here, our project manager on the task will know that we need to make that larger. The team can go in, make those adjustments. We can reply to Denise, done, let me know, and we will confirm.
Wow, I can see that the status has also changed from finished to in progress automatically.
Exactly. So we're working in progress, making sure that obviously we're still going, right? We're still working on this. We are needing something else. So now it's still on Denise's time. If I want, I can put it on hold. I can say my team needs to wait. We have done what you've asked. We're going to confirm that everything is done. So easily be able to come in and check that. And as soon as we go through, we're going to be able to see there's those reworked. There's that communication already. Catherine has responded to me saying, let me know, and we're done. And Denise will say, great, everything is done. We're confirmed. The project is good. So we can now move this to finished and everything is set. It's very easy that this task has been completed. We've been able to communicate throughout the time. Our team was able to do time tracking internally. The client is a part making those approvals, adjustments, checking everything that they may need, all right here in a single
Great. As we said in the beginning, this really improves efficiency and transparency in the process with the client. Kat,
Yeah.
now that we have seen the process, we have the platform review. What about what do you think about open this up for questions? We have some questions in the chat. I imagine there must be lots of them. And well, what do you think? Should we do that?
Perfect. I think that sounds like a great idea. As I mentioned at the beginning, questions are always welcome from you guys. I see we have a couple here in the chat as well as on our Q&A section. I know we have a couple here that we would love to answer. So let's get started here. Let's see. Is there a particular one you think we should start with, Belen?
I think we can start with Fabricio's question here in the Q&A. If you liked. All right.
Yes.
So Fabricio asked, yeah, tell me. Yeah. Should I continue? Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. Okay, so Fabricio asked, can I define which of these features, agility, collaboration, operation, can the client see?
Yes. So as we mentioned at the beginning, COR is customized based on roles and permissions. So this is something that we can easily define in the moment that we are ready to get our client involved. I want my client to interact and see all of the tasks so they can view the Gantt charts and they can view timelines and they can be able to have a more involved role in the entire flow, right? Or we can give a client the most basic. I just want them to see a task in a project and get a notification, very similarly to what I had showed here. But we have the opportunity to share information about our people, our resources, just as you would do the same thing for any collaborator or project manager, director, C-level. The same thing can be done here for the client role. So we recommend that you guys talk internally and then also figure out how you're working with your client, because maybe even your teams work with each of their clients differently. So we don't want this to just feel like a one-size-fits-all solution. This is a customized experience for the agency, for the brands, to be able to work seamlessly. So if one client needs more and one client needs less, we can make that happen. Absolutely.
All right, great. Let's see what else I have to say. Here, Belen Sachas is asking, can I acquire this license for my client even though my platform is fully populated and I have been working with COR for a long time? Is that possible?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We are always able to get your clients involved, no matter how short or how long you guys have been working with COR. So this is something that for those of you who have been with COR for a long time, you have your dedicated CSM who works with you. So talk to them about it. Figure out in your workflow, how is it going to be best? Where is it going to be a best place in your workflow to add those clients in? So those conversations are always welcome, no matter how much time you guys have already been in COR. Very easy.
Great.
There are many questions. I love it.
Yeah, we need to pass on to the chat box because we had some in the question and answers box, and then we have even more here in the chat box. So let's see the first one. Victoria asks, are these messages exchanges instant? Will our interactions with the platform impact in that given moment?
All right. How many of you were paying attention during that? As we can see, in the moment that I come in and I make a chat or I upload a file, I can jump instantly as a client and see those same changes, those same updates happening. Those messages are being shared, those files are being uploaded. Everything is done in the moment. We want everybody to have real-time visibility because delays is what gets us. That's where we struggle, where we are doing manual inputs, where we're taking all of this time. And I need to be working on billable stuff. I don't need to be sitting and waiting for a response from my PM or from my clients.
Right. We sometimes get these questions, right? I mean, I get asked if, so Belen, will this impact by the end of the day? Will I be able to see the file tomorrow or to access? But no, this is instant. This is real-time updates, which is great. And as you said, and as we said before, it will save us billable and valuable time or hours.
Totally. As we
Yeah.
have always said and we emphasize, time is precious. We've got to make every minute that we have count and use that towards those billable projects and clients that we have. Great question, guys.
Great.
We really appreciate these questions and we encourage you keep adding them in. We've got some time now and we love it.
Yes, we love answering questions. That's something that that Kath and I love. And well, Belen is commenting here too. She's really excited to participate with us. She's asking, will my customer be able to send me all, and all, she means everything, the changes and feedback within the platform?
Totally. As we mentioned, feedback should be done both at a task and project level. There are certain things that I only need to communicate with the project manager or the collaborator of a specific task. We have a kickoff meeting. I don't need anybody else who's not at that meeting to get notified, to have changes, to have files sent. I just need the people involved. But then there are those cases where we have things that need to be shared with everybody. So that's where we have our discussion board. The discussion board is a great place for me to go in and share details that the rest of the team should be involved in and should be aware of. So we want to make sure you have two different locations, both internally as an agency and externally as a brand or a client, to come in and communicate. So that's important.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I have one more, Kath, which is from Vanina Bynes.
Perfect.
And she's asking, once the tasks have changed status and the project is in process, can we add other clients to the project or the tasks?
Absolutely. Like this, the whole idea of this is that we're in an agency world, and agency world is changing every day, needs change on a minute by minute basis. The people who need to be involved could change. So it is important to be able to do that. So just as I would swap out a collaborator that maybe is overworked, so I need to switch them out, or I just simply need to add somebody at any time throughout the project, regardless of where the task is in its progress, in its status, I can come in and I can add different clients to that. We can also share with our clients the overall project. There's a lot of different ways to get your client involved from start to finish, in the middle, and everything in between. So yes.
So yes is the answer.
Oh yes is the answer, absolutely.
Great. I have a couple more. I have one from Jesus Mantisha, and he asks, can I acquire this license for my client? He has asked the same thing as before. I'm sorry. We have the same question here.
So yes, we can get client licenses at any point.
Yeah.
Feel free to talk to your CSM and to get those done.
As we have said before. Here we have another one from Manuel Martin, and he asks, hi, I would like to know if client need or can be a member of a team, or what happens if the client is a member of a project or a complete project.
Perfect. Yes. So it all depends on those permissions that we defined at the beginning, right? We have defined that we only want this particular client to view their projects and just their tasks. But in the case that I want them to be involved and to see the full scope of our project, all of the tasks, all of the subtasks, I can come through and give them that possibility to be able to do that and allow them to be a full project member. Now, even if they aren't involved in all of those tasks, they're still going to be a project member. As soon as somebody is added to a project as a collaborator, as a project manager, we're going to see that they are automatically added as a project member. I can see here is Denise, my lovely client, who was automatically added in here at the project level. It doesn't mean that she has access to everybody else's tasks, because she doesn't need that visibility, but she's still part of the project and therefore is able to communicate on the discussion board, to view the tasks that she has assigned to her, see specific info about the brief and the related members. Now, if you want to provide your client with a fuller experience, sure, You can add her to a team. We can have those customized just the same way as the role. We can build a client's team, whatever that is. So there are certain ways that we can get them involved in different levels with different responsibilities in the tasks and projects.
Great. We have one more question, Kath, from Majo, who asks, will my clients be able to access information from projects that aren't theirs?
Great question. No, they will not, because, oh man, that's nerve-wracking. We do not want the clients to have access to anything that's not theirs. We want people to have focus on their particular projects, and we want agencies to feel comfortable, to feel safe, knowing that your data is protected, your other clients are protected. As I can see here, I only see tasks and projects. I don't have access to any other module. I won't have any other way to reach out even into other projects that I'm not assigned to. Perhaps that with the best agency, there are 16 projects running. If I, as the client, should only need to be involved in one, I'm not even going to have access to those other 15 projects, because that's what the agency has decided. They've decided, nope, here, Mr. Brand, we want you here just involved in this particular project. And you can scale it, right? You can start with a project, see how it goes, see what's working, what's not, what changes can be made, and then add more and more projects throughout the process. And eventually, perhaps you're working on all of your projects, all of your clients are going to be in and seeing just what they need to in the platform.
As we said in the beginning, it all depends in the permissions. So that really sums it up. Yeah.
Exactly, it does. So that is great. Guys, these questions are wonderful, and I'm sure afterwards more questions will come up. So we do encourage you guys to make sure that you are checking in with your CSM, your sales rep, whoever that may be, talking to them about how this is going to fit into your workflow and all of that. So very quickly, I did want to just mention in the last couple of minutes that we have left, we really appreciate you guys joining in with us today on this webinar, and we are going to be continuing to do this throughout the year. We are going to try and do this at least once a quarter. Perhaps we'll do more, who knows? We're trying to figure that out as we go. So the next one, we are looking forward to talking to you guys about reporting and metrics. So how you can get real-time visibility into everything from the macro to the micro of how your profitability is to how your team is tracking time against projects, clients, and tasks. And then we will go into resource management, how we can utilize the Gantt and forecasting projects and capacity tracking, everything like that. And then our final one of the year, we'll be talking about our estimates feature, how we're going to be planning and budgeting for our projects, linking that into how we are going to manage our projects and to make a full streamlined process. So that those are the ones that we have planned coming up through the rest of the year. Hopefully you guys will be able to join us for that. And if you aren't able to attend today, or if you weren't able to stay the whole time, the session is recorded. So Belen and I will be working to get this up into the amazing COR Academy that we have. So we recommend checking it out there. There's tons of amazing content. We have even more information about client access and how you guys can work together. So make sure that you guys are staying tuned both to COR Academy and to some upcoming emails and invites that you guys will get for our next webinars. So Belen, thank you so much for speaking to me and working through all of this. We really appreciate everybody here today, and I appreciate working with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kat. It's been an honor, and I'm really happy that all of you joined us today. And stay tuned, because a lot of webinars are coming up next.
Yeah,
in the next
a lot of great
months.
Things. Wonderful. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you for
everyone.
participating.
Bye.
It's been great. Thank you.